maybe you hit the limit.
So I brought an Xbox 360, and it's actually the previous model. I have one of the newer ones, which I couldn't take
4
because
gig models.
Yeah, I wanted the new 4 gig because I just needed a media center.
That thing just fell down.
Well, that's okay. It'll recalibrate.
Oh,
See,
connects.
it's the Connect. Yeah,
That's Connect.
that's Connect. So it's actually like doing its thing. So I brought it with the Connect. Like I said, I have a new one, which you can hear this. It's a jet engine, and when you're watching movies, this is horrible. When you're playing games, it doesn't really matter. Having this in the bedroom as a media center extender doesn't work, but the new ones are silent.
They are totally silent.
Yeah, I can't even hear it.
I've got a 4 gig model, and I turned it on, and I'm like, is it on?
Yeah.
Because I can't hear it.
And it boots up fast.
Oh, it does.
I mean, actually, this boots up fast now too. This is the new new dashboard that just came out. So if you got Xbox 360, if you didn't do your update, do it, because this is it. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with all the new live tile stuff. That's all this is all the live tile interfaces. So all the Windows 8 stuff are using the new. You have Windows Phone, right?
Phone, yeah.
Can I see your phone real quick?
Yeah, it started with Zoom.
Yeah.
Then it evolved to Windows Phone. Then it is now.
Just have to hold it up.
Yeah.
So you guys are familiar with the live tiles. Everything's going to this. If you look at this interface up here, it's basically using that same live tile feature to do everything.
And you're going to see the same thing in Windows 8.
Yeah, and actually I have
Give
Windows.
me a command line back.
Yeah. I actually, I showed my slate off, I think, last year. Unusable device, right?
Yeah.
Like $800 by $900 unusable device that doesn't do anything. Actually, I have Windows 8, the developer preview on here. You want to see boot time? Ready? I'll start it. It actually boots up in about 8 seconds.
You have to boot it?
Well, no, not really.
Mine comes right away.
Well, if you put it to sleep, it'll come right on. But I mean, this is cold boot to on, like any PC, and there it's up. And it actually, you can log into it, and I mean, I have not had a Windows device ever boot that fast. So, once I get into the login, which it uses the live account, which is kind of neat, was built right into it. You'll see it looks very similar to Kevin's phone. I don't know if anybody's played with it. Hopefully. So there's the live tile interface for Windows 8.
Okay.
So
How does it compare to your iPad?
how does this? It doesn't work. That's the problem.
There's the iPad.
Which one, that one or the iPad?
But this doesn't. I mean, because it's a developer preview. None of the buttons work. They're kind of put in there for like to show, to kind of give you the idea of all the tiles.
If this worked, this is what it looked like?
Yeah. I mean, there are pieces of it that do work. So if you go to the control panel, it takes you into the control panel. The problem I don't like about it, and I'm sure it's anybody, we're so used to using Windows that every time you click Start, right, because you go to do something, you click Start, it takes you back to the live tiles. That's pretty much annoying to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else
It's
has
being
played.
changed in the beta. in
Hey,
February.
Jason,
Yes.
you think maybe that 8-second boot up time could be because nothing works?
There was nothing they needed to
How long does it take to load a screen image?
It's 8 seconds. Yeah, you can't even start to go, so I'm glad they're changing that. They just need a button on there that says live tile screen. I mean, for a tablet standpoint, like Internet Explorer does work. There's a couple links on here that you click on them. But, it is dropping back to the OS, and it's all still designed to be used with a mouse, which has always been my problem versus the iPad or anything else. But it's pretty cool. The live tiles is potential to have a PC that's, working. If you guys want to look at this and play with this.
So you're saying they're still designing that to work with a mouse, not to do a touchscreen?
Well, the live tiles are designed to touch, but it's still, when you get into the browser, it's not an app. It's more the traditional browser.
And the reason they're doing that is that you can write an app as a developer, and you can compile it for the ARM platform, which is all the tablets and a lot of the phones are ARM chip, or you can compile it for the x86, which is what we typically run on our PCs and laptops. So you write the program once, compile it for both platforms, one app across all devices. That's what they're after.
Yeah, so you know it's neat, but it's one of those things that it's obviously developer preview, so nothing works. I'm hoping I think February you said
February beta.
is the beta, so we'll see how that changes stuff.
Personally.
I also brought the Kindle Fire. I think everybody's probably played with an iPad, so I didn't bring an iPad, but I brought the Kindle Fire. It's $200. For $200, it's a great Android device. And it has it doesn't come with a native app for doing exchange, but like they give out a free app every day, and one day they gave out a $15 exchange email app, so I downloaded it, so now I get exchange email. But the interface pretty much keeps all your stuff at the top, scrolls pretty good, and then you kind of do your bookshelf favorites down here, and just click on something, go in the app, and then you have books and music and videos, and it sorts by categories. So you guys can play with this. Got the home button. It's not traditional Android. It's kind of the Kindle customized Android. It's pretty cool.
Is it still stuck in the Kindle format for readers?
Yes. I have actually gone into like the books, and you can actually read books on here because it is backlit. It's not as soft as a Kindle is to read because it's, you know, an LCD backlit screen. So, but I've changed the background to be this khaki color for me. It's a little bit softer on the eyes, so it's kind of nice. Still does all your syncing, so I can read here, go to my Kindle, and it'll catch up on the same page, or go to my phone. Huh?
I thought that wasn't.
This is a Kindle, but
It's not the Kindle OS.
it's not. We're talking e-ink versus an LCD screen. You know, and at night, I don't like to read LCD. It doesn't. It ends up keeping me awake. I know some people can read these and be fine. This is also like.
The whole point of reading is to go to sleep.
Right, exactly. This is also really heavy compared to a Kindle. So if you have a Kindle, reading with this up is not good. I also don't like. I like to read one-handed, and just push the button and go to the next page. Where this, you got to flick now, so I'm having to.
I just got the new touchscreen Kindle, not this thing. And there's no buttons, but you can just tap the screen and
It'll turn. Yeah, this one requires the swiping.
oh, all right.
So you actually have to swipe. So it's kind of like iPad-ish. It's a pretty nice device for $200.
Yeah.
You know, I'd give it to my daughter to play with because it's got Netflix streaming on it. Versus she has an iPad with something like this. I wouldn't feel so bad if she dropped it. It's got a little bit of rubber backing on it. Doesn't seem it's going to break. The downside is, I don't know if I think your Kindle has the same. It has the round button for power, and the original Kindle and the $79 Kindle have a slide switch,
Oh,
which
this
is
is a
great
push.
because when you palm it, you keep hitting this power button. So I don't know about your Kindle. With this one, I end up turning it completely upside down. Obviously, the screen
Well, is it
rotates.
to the side or is it in the middle?
It's right where my palm cups it,
Oh.
right here. So
Yeah, mine's in the very. I've never bumped mine. I don't hold mine your way, so.
yeah, how do you hold yours?
Huh?
How is
It's
the
not a question of how he grips it.
It didn't take long for it to go there,
How
did
is
it?
the multi-touch interface?
It's okay. I mean, I don't have a lot of other things to compare it to, but it's fine.
Oh,
that's my first.
I didn't want to skip you this. Thank you.
How about Zoom or pinch to Zoom or anything?
I'm not sure even if, I don't think it does that.
Ah,
It's just the e-ink thing.
So the next gadget that I have is the new
Yeah, how do you like that?
the Samsung Nexus. I like it a lot. It's running an Android ice cream sandwich, so
Right.
it's 4. It's pretty cool. It's got the front-facing camera, so I can Skype with it.
have you rooted it yet?
I have not rooted it. I don't have time to root it. I actually have a job.
My nephew rooted his already.
Did he really? Okay.
He wants to be a developer.
I also have a 4-year-old, so I like it a lot.
For you.
I mean, there's a lot of improvements. I mean, a lot of it's iPad or iPhone where you can group icons now, which is cool. Because I hate having to go through page after page after page after page looking for something when I can put my tools here, do this here. The only thing downside to it, I have to say right now, is I'm having horrible battery life because it's 4G. I'm getting about a half day out of my battery, and I use my phone constantly. So I'm having to charge it every time I get in the car or
That's
any
what I've
place.
heard. The 4G is what's killing it.
I turned off all the background development, like update service stuff. It got a little bit better, but
Hey,
it's
this
nothing.
page is 4 just by tapping the screen.
It what?
Pages forward just by tapping. the
Oh, it
screen.
does? Okay.
If you tap on the right, like 2/3 pages forward.
Oh.
Tap on the left, 1/3 pages backward.
Okay. So you don't have to swipe.
Good thing you brought that here to learn that.
But it's, you know, it's Android. I like Android OS. It's nice. I like having the front-facing camera in the rear. The camera on this is pretty fast. It's 5 megapixel. I went from the original Droid, which when I took a picture, it was like, nobody move. Okay, nobody move. You know, as we take a picture, this one's like, it's more like a camera. So a lot of good improvements with it. It's much faster than what I had. Some great features in it. I haven't seen anything that's like, whoa, it's Android 4.0 versus 3.2.2. So you guys are more than welcome to look at it.
Download all the contacts.
Yeah.
Just start texting people.
I don't know. Does anybody ever play with the Kinect before?
Nope. Not me.
So the Kinect can actually, like, if you
Yeah.
see me at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen down here, you can actually see the Kinect. If you watch right here, it actually, and you can see it kind of highlighting my hands. So you can see, like, it's like I've got like magic powers, and you wave and it activates the Kinect. One of the new, it'll actually try to use facial recognition for you and open up your account if you have it set up, which is pretty cool. My other account that I have actually will link in and pull my profile for me on my other Xbox, but this one's kind of more of my family room one. This also has, oh, thank you. This also has a lot of the voice commands in it now, which we didn't have before. Before, you pretty much were like Xbox, and then you would say the command and say connect, and that's all it really did. Now you have a much greater depth of voice commands. And as you can see, I can actually move through the screens with my hands. So, back and forth, you know, versus using the controller. So it's pretty cool. You know, you sit here, you can, if you're in Media Center, you can actually control the Media Center through like this too, so you can be like changing the channels, record stuff. It's kind of weird, you know, you're sitting in the living room doing this and people are looking at you funny. So
Your kid comes in.
right, your kid
Thinks
comes
you're
in.
having a stroke.
Yeah, but it's actually pretty neat that the live tiles, by going to this new interface, give you all this, where in the previous version of the Xbox, the Blade system they had going, you pretty much didn't have any Kinect controls.
None at all.
Yeah, so this
Unless
is,
you were in the Kinect interface and did nothing.
yeah, and so it has the built-in the microphone. So saying anytime you want to do something with it, you have to start off with Xbox, and then then you give it the command. So it's kind of like computer in Star Trek, you know.
Hello,
Sit.
computer.
Computer. So if I say Xbox, it's supposed to recognize the command, and as you can see the microphone down there. Xbox, and then I can say cancel, and it'll go out or previous, and use the different commands to launch different items. So I can move through the menus using the voice commands and so forth and so on like that. It works better like when you're a little bit further away. So if you have a small apartment, the Xbox doesn't work very well in it because you kind of have to have some room for it. There have been a lot of people that criticize this and they're like, why would you be waving your hands? It's so Minority Report. I think it's kind of cool, actually.
It is kinda cool.
You know, just being able to sit around like this. When you start going like this, porn shows up. I don't know why.
He is taping this.
Yes. Let me get that hand gesture in there. When you go like this with the Xbox, it's a pretty cool device, though.
Have you used or seen the devices you put on the Kinect to shrink the room size you need?
No,
There's
like an adapter.
an adapter that you put on the front of the bar.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like blinders for a horse. Yeah, blinders for the Xbox to shorten
As
the
it,
room.
one of the things I really like with this is the video conferencing. Because the camera actually works really decently. You can sit there and have a conversation with
I
somebody.
with my buddy Wayne Small in Australia.
Yeah, and you can sit in your living room. And
It's
if you
awesome.
get up and you move, the camera tracks you. Like, we'll do this with my mom and dad, even though they live like in Harrison, the next town over. My daughter's always like, Daddy, let's call Nana. So she'll get on there. The only problem is she's like this. And the Kinect, all you see is this pink thing swinging across the screen. But my parents think it's hilarious, you know, as she's trying to talk to them. And she's running around, the thing's like tracking her. But, you know, I think that you can get, the Xbox and a Kinect for like $250. It's actually a great video conferencing unit.
You just had a deal on it. It was $299 and you get a $100
Gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can you can do some really cool stuff with it. You know, I'm sure it's going to continue to get better. The gaming on it's fun. If you play other people, my dad and I have some of the sports game. For a while, he can't do it anymore, but we were playing ping pong and bowling, and he'd be at his house on his Xbox, and I'd be at mine, and we're using the Kinects, and I could bowl, and I could then do the dancing, and my character would dance, and he would see it on his end, and we could talk smack across it without headsets. And it's just like he's in the room practically. And we were playing volleyball one night, and he heard this loud whack as I jumped up to spike and smashed my hand in my ceiling. So it's we have a lot of we used to have a lot of fun with it. He's got cancer now, and so he's not able to do a lot of the Xbox Kinect stuff anymore. But we had a good time for a while. So, but the video conferencing is really neat. If you're looking for like small business solution, and you want, you know, you could put these in kind of some remote offices and get, you know, a pretty decent, without having to. I'm hoping the integration with the purchase of Skype comes, because to be able to Skype from this to something else, to like my phone, since it's got the front side camera on it, would be really cool to be able to have my wife, who I can never get her to use the computer correctly, to even just do something as simple as Skype, but they could get the Xbox, you know. Because if I could walk up to it and go Xbox and then say Skype, boom, and it makes the phone call, that'd be so much easier for her. So hopefully Microsoft will get with some of that stuff. I'm sure they've got plans for it with the link system and everything like that. But it still has Media Center in it, Netflix in it. Does anybody besides me, George, do you have Comcast?
Yep, you can see this.
Okay, and then the Fios, does anybody have Fios? No? With the new live TV that's coming out for Xbox, you've got like the services built in so you can watch TV through it without having to do the Media Center piece. Xfinity actually is launching their snap-in, and so it'll actually be in like this one of these like app tiles that'll go in. The cool thing about the Xfinity that I heard, and I've heard about the Fios piece, is that if you click on it, the app, it'll launch and go into the Xfinity app without having you log in, because it realizes it's on the Comcast network. Automatically knows and just signs you in. You can start watching your movies out of it. And I heard the Fios app is exactly the same way. It knows you're on, I think it's Verizon's network, and then you can start streaming more movies. And you don't need to have the Xbox Live Gold Edition if you don't have that for those pieces. So it's kind of it's another cool feature. Any questions, these guys? I have, I don't know, I have to get my pictures and upload them. I can show them a little bit later. If anybody's interested in seeing the HD Home Run Prime, which is the cable card tuners for the Media Center, I have the dual tuner one, so it has 2 cable cards, which gives me 6 tuners. It is a network-based tuner, like the original HD Home Runs, but because it's cable card, they consider it the Prime. It is rack mountable, so I have it in my rack at home. It's only 1U. It is beautiful, has nice green lights on it, and you can see actively on it when tuners are in use. 2 cable cards go in the back. It all cables up really sweet. Works great. I had some minor installation issues with my installer. He was a bozo, but what cable installer isn't? Especially when they come out and they're doing the install and they have no clue what the heck I have, because obviously I'm using, you are recording this, great. Comcast is awesome. I think that, no. The guy came out, and because I have an all Media Center house, you know, being at the time I had 3 Media Center PCs running on all my TVs, and then using the HD Home Runs, the original ones. Once they encrypted the channels, I had to move to the cable card solution. When he came out, he was like standing there like, what is this? This doesn't go into a TiVo, you know? So I think the guy had done 1 TiVo install, and when they called to activate them, it was funny. The lady's like, well, what do you have? And I'm like, it's an HD Home Run Prime. I said it's like a TiVo. Okay, I'll put it in as a TiVo. So since then, I have talked to Comcast because I have some channels that are supposed to be unlocked that aren't working. And they actually now have it classified as an HD Home Run Prime, which is good. They finally caught up. But it's worked good. I've had a couple of firmware updates that fixed a few issues with some tuning. The downfall that I have with it is not the tuner itself, but it's the cable companies. Because I run a Windows Home server and I dump all my recordings to it so that all my other media centers could pull the data, I never had this problem until now. With the paid channels, or the subscribe channels like even Sci-Fi, A&E, HBO, they have the copy once flag on everything. So the moment it's recorded on that machine, it's pretty much stuck to that machine, and you can only play it from there. So even when I copied it up to my server, only the original machine that recorded the channel could actually play it back. None of my other Media Center devices could play that. So anything that was like Cartoon Network, Sci-Fi, they were all locked. So I had to go to the original source and watch them. Anything that was on like regular broadcast channels, whether they're HD or just regular channels, those were fine because they didn't have the copy once flag. And that's the actual cable companies doing that. I actually found the workaround, which is to use the extenders again, which I'm not a big fan of the extenders because they have some things that I don't like that they do, but at the same time, they are nice and cheaper. So I had to put an Xbox 360 back in and remove one of my media centers so that my wife could watch her shows in the bedroom, because the moment that she couldn't watch Ghost Hunters because it was recorded downstairs and she wanted to lay in bed and watch it, I heard all about it. So I made the run to Best Buy, $299 or $199, got the new Xbox, because I refused to put this one back in the bedroom because it sounded like a jet engine. The new ones I knew were quiet. It solved my problem because it's extending from the original Media Center source, so the copy once flag doesn't necessarily apply. However, most of my movie collection, which is in My Movies and is in MKV format, will not play on the Xbox, so I had to start readjusting stuff and put it back into a Bob or like a WMV or some other format that the Xbox supported. So I'll show you guys some pictures later. I got to get them uploaded on my laptop. And if you want to see it rack mounted, we can throw them up, and then I'll hand it over to Kevin since he's got a whole setup here too.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. I brought a few things, but unfortunately all of it isn't going to work because I was stupid and left a remote for this home, so I can only talk about it. So let me start with it, just to get it out of the way.
If your Windows phone is really good, it can serve as your phone.
That's true. Yeah, the Windows 7 phones actually do a
This,
lot of
I
cool
think,
stuff
is
like
infrared, which my phone doesn't have, so sorry about that. So what I brought is, this is the Western Digital TV Live device. This is the box that it came in. This is the second generation of the device. There is now 4 generations total. The first generation looks a lot like this. Didn't have all the features of this one. The third generation, they added a hard drive to it, and the fourth generation, they've added Wi-Fi. But there's also hard drive and non-hard drive versions of it. This one cost me about $65 on Amazon. They've now, I've noticed the price has gone up to around $90.
Wow.
So the price is going up on these.
Is it because of the hard drive shortage that they're going?
No, this has no drive in it whatsoever.
Okay.
And that's the weird part. Okay. So when I got it,
Western Digital's having to make money from something else.
I guess. When I got it, I was, I had seen this demoed at MVP Summit last year in February, or this year in February, I should say. And I was impressed with it because this utilizes a couple of things built into Windows 7. Windows 7 has the ability to talk to any DLNA compliant device. Those of us that have home servers are familiar with that because we use that to store videos and read videos and all that good stuff, and music and stuff. This becomes a target for Windows Play 2, which we also have in Windows 7, but you probably didn't know that it works quite well. Okay, you can take 2 Windows 7 machines, go into the I don't want to call it network neighborhood, it's not really network neighborhood, and you essentially turn on media sharing feature. Then, as long as the machine has Windows Media Player open, you will see a new option on the other computer when you right-click a media file, whether it be a picture, an MP3, or a video, you'll see Play To as a new option. And I sent information about this to everyone back when I first learned about it. Like, oh, this is cool stuff. And I was sending out stuff to you guys about it. When you put this guy on your network, he automatically shows up as a DLNA target. Okay? What comes in the box is they don't give you an HDMI cable, so you got to supply it yourself. But they do give you these adapter cables. They plug in for AV out and the multi-connector, red, green, yellow, whatever, to make the composite version of HDMI. So you can hook this to an older television that doesn't have HDMI, which I happen to have one of those. Or if you hook the AV out only, this cable, you can hook this to an old stereo. It becomes a Play 2 target. So let's say you have an old stereo, you hook one of these to it, set it off in the corner somewhere, hook your speakers up, and then you can take your music library, create a playlist, and say play to the stereo, and off it goes. And it starts playing over the network to that stereo. Okay? So the way I have this at my house is I was building an area where I can ride my bicycle indoors in bad weather, and I bought a television, and I hung it on the wall, and I decided now I want to put video on it, but I don't have an Ethernet jack nearby for this. So I went and found out that there's like 30 or 40 different USB wireless that work with this. So I found this guy. This is a Netgear wireless in USB adapter. Plug it in. There's also an extender cable if you don't want it sticking out. And all of a sudden this guy's on my network as a wireless Play 2 target. All I do is, with the remote, since there is no buttons here to push, turn it on, and it becomes a target for anything. I use another computer to say, send this TV show to the WD TV Live Plus, and it pops up on the TV.
How good is the video?
It's very good.
Yeah.
And wireless,
Even over wireless?
Yeah.
Got to do wireless if you want to do HDMI.
Yeah.
Or HD quality is what I'm saying. This works very well. You can also, there's an additional USB port in the back, you can hook a hard drive to it and store videos and stuff directly on it. This will see all of your shares for anything that's publicly shared. So your home server, because it has the ability to do that, you will see all the servers and all the folders. Okay? This also has the ability to do Netflix and Blockbuster and YouTube and all that other good stuff built into the box. So for me, a $65 investment and another $7 investment made this a functional piece of my entertainment system in the house. I just wish that I had remembered to bring the remote, so I can show you guys that. Okay, second thing, since that's not going to work, the rest of this is kind of